Hi there, everyone. Welcome to Shisha Creative. This time we are going to do a colorful terrarium. So I'm going to draw the size of the bowl first on a piece of chart paper so that we know exactly how much space is there inside the bowl. And I would like to first identify the kind of rocks and the driftwood that I'm going to use inside this space. So, first, let's start with the rocks. And the rocks, I had two or three sizes for this space. And the first one was looking really cool because it looked like a cave, and I really wanted to use this rock. But eventually, if I use this one, the edges are going to scratch the glass. So I ended up using another piece of stone which had some moss on it, like a dried moss, and it also looked good, like a huge mountain. So I decided to use this piece of stone, and I like to use a lot of driftwood inside. It is not necessary that we have to use driftwood always, but it obviously gives a better look for every terrarium. So I use a lot of driftwood, and it gives a natural look and feel to your terrarium as well. So this time I had used, and what I have used is a coffee root. So I wanted a lot of branches to look more like a tree inside the terrarium. So what I'm going to do now is stick the branches together and give it a tree-like look without any leaves. So it's going to be like autumn inside the terrarium. So the leaves have fallen off, but we are going to add some more of colorful plants. So I'm sure it will add color to the terrarium. So right now let's go and stick the tree and then get started with doing the terrarium. We are all set to start the terrarium. First, I added a little gravel, and the color of the gravel also I chose a natural color because I did not want any grayish or any white color gravel for this terrarium. I wanted a more natural and riverside kind of look, a broken tree or a dry tree but near the riverside with a lot of green or colorful plants in it. So after that I placed the net. I cut a net according to the size, added some more gravel and coal. Coal we usually add so that it takes away the bad odor that eventually happens because of the soil, the fertilizers, and also the watering of the plants. Some plants do have a root rot. So to take away the smell of all of this, we use coal. So then I just leveled the sand a little higher on the back side so that the plants are visible, whatever plants that come on that. Added a little water so that I could level the coco peat. And as you all know that we are using the coco peat that was done in our previous video. We are doing the potting mix. We have used the potting mix that I did in the previous video. So it is fully nourished and I hope it helps the plants to grow well. So adding the driftwood, I just put in a small hole like how we plant the plants. I planted the driftwood also inside so that it does not come out and it is steadily inside the wood. Next I chose some colorful phytonias. So this season I had a few colorful Phytonias with me, and those colors were really looking too good. So one is the pink one. So I took a little of that, and I also used another Phytonia with pink veins, which gives an extraordinary look in any place. So these two plants, along with the pink Syngonium, are the highlight of this terrarium, and it is going to turn out really well. And once I took out the Phytonias that was needed for the terrarium, I found that there was a weed that grew along with the other plants, but eventually it was looking so good that I could use that plant for this terrarium. It will look really good. So this was the weed that was there along with the other plant. So I took out the weed and I'm going to use only this. We don't get to see this a lot in hot places. So I think it has grown because the plants were kept in water always. And this is a small fern that is growing in the aquascape. So I borrowed a little from the aquascape as well. So that was a tiny bit of a fern that added some extra color. And this is the pink Syngonium that I borrowed from the aquascape as well. So these are going to go into the terrarium. So first I started with planting the Syngonium at the back, and then the Phytonias, added the green color plants, and I added some soil after this so that the roots get rooted well. So I did use some sand after this. I put in sand and leveled it and covered the roots with the potting mix. So once this was ready, I sprayed a lot of water. For the first time, we have to spray a good amount of water so that the plants are really nourished and are able to root themselves well into the potting soil. So once that was done, the terrarium was cleaned and ready. So I'm going to give an update after a month, but do leave your comments in the comments box about the videos of Shisha Creative, and keep watching for more. Subscribe to join our fam. Bye bye.